5 on your side at 10 starts now.
The helicopter blew up and fell and crashed in that barge, and it's exploding right now.
Tonight, tragedy on the Mississippi River.
Were there any survivors from the helicopter crash? Over.
Negative.
New details about a deadly helicopter crash, plus witnesses relive the terrifying moments.
All of a sudden it touched the line, and in 2 seconds it wasn't a helicopter anymore. It was 1,000 pieces. I'll never forget it.
Right now, part of the Mississippi River remains closed as investigators work to figure out what led up to a helicopter crash that killed 2 people this morning. The helicopter crashed into a barge near the Melvin Price Lock and Dam in West Alton, Missouri. Good evening. I'm Kelly Jackson. Mike Bush has the night off. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski is live in Illinois, where she's been on the scene all day and has the latest information. Laura?
Well, Kelly, we are live here on the Illinois side of the river near Alton, where the scene is pretty much the same. There are actually 2 barges still out on the river who have been stopped by the Coast Guard as they've stopped all traffic following this tragedy today.
This was reported as a helicopter in the power lines near the Alton Dam, possibly struck a barge and is on fire at this time. All units to respond to the Harbor Point.
Were there any survivors from the helicopter crash? Over.
Negative.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the helicopter crash happened shortly after 11 Thursday morning over the Mississippi River near West Alton in Missouri. Fishing Captain Wally Meyer was on the river at the time it happened, wrapping up a charter with a family he'd taken out.
All of a sudden it touched the line, and in 2 seconds it wasn't a helicopter anymore. It was 1,000 pieces. And then it went, all you seen was a fiery ball, and it came, across and landed on this Missouri side barge that was staged up here waiting to go through the lock.
Captain Wally says he called 911 right away.
Well, I'm like, we're going to go see if there's any survivors. Well, as I'm coming across, I noticed it looked like a fueling barge, and I said, no, we're not going over there because if it explodes. Well, we went back across to the Illinois side for safety and noticed that 2 of the power lines are actually laying in the water, too.
He says he saw what appeared to be the barge captain jump out and put out the fire.
And it's exploding right now. It's exploding right now.
Corporal Dallas Thompson confirmed it was a fast response.
Upon arrival here, we did find that the helicopter was on top of the barge. There was a fire on top of the barge, but it was put out very, very quickly.
Ameren said in a statement the workers in the helicopter were repairing and replacing tower lighting and aviation warning markers, which are these large yellow, orange, and white balls. We saw quite a few of them on the Illinois side of the river, along with other power crews. Ameren and JF Electric said in statements they are cooperating with the investigation. JF Electric saying, quote, "It is with deep sadness that we confirm a serious incident occurred earlier today involving one of our employees and a subcontractor. Tragically, the incident resulted in the passing of both the employee and the subcontractor."
Prayers to the pilot and whoever else was in that, because nobody wants to see that, but it was one of them. I'll never forget it.
The U.S. Coast Guard says they closed down the river between mile markers 199 and 202.
There's 2 lock-in dams on either side of the area, Mel Price Lock-in Dam and Lock-in Dam 27. Neither one of them are locking vessels through at this time. And we put a safety zone in place for that stretch of river because right now there's still a power line in the water. That one is de-energized, but 2 power lines hanging over the water pretty low.
The FAA and NTSB are investigating what happened, and the Coast Guard says they don't have a timeline on when they will reopen the river. The last update says it will be closed until further notice. Reporting live near Alton, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
And we are working to get more information about this deadly crash. We will continue to update you as we learn more on air at KSDK.com and our free 5+ streaming app. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. Are we going to stay in those 90s as we head into the weekend?
Well, we just barely got there this morning, and that was before the clouds rolled in because we had thunderstorms up in Iowa, creating a disturbance that dropped to our south, and that disturbance is still right over St. Louis this evening. Some of us have had some pretty interesting sunsets and light shows this evening with the thunderstorms. Those rumbles of thunder are fading now as everything's sliding south and east. We haven't seen any lightning strikes in about the last 15 or 20 minutes. Not that there's still not a little lightning in the clouds. We get in a little bit closer here. This is the radar that you're looking at from the terminal Doppler. So it's in closer to St. Louis, and you can see how everything continues to slide towards the southeast. And it seems to be diminishing at this point. Now, with that disturbance, though, in the vicinity through early tomorrow morning, there's still the chance through the overnight hours that you're going to see a shower or maybe a rumble of thunder bubble up during the overnight hours as this upper level system slides through. But that decreases quickly tomorrow, and so do the clouds. And that means a quick warm-up is on the way. Our high temperatures over the next 5 days back into the 90s. And Kelly, those heat index values will be in the triple digits tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, boy. All right, Scott. Right now, police are investigating a deadly stabbing in North City. Police say they found a man in his 60s dead at Sexauer Avenue and Bircher Boulevard. They say he'd been stabbed multiple times. It happened around 4:30 this afternoon, and police have identified a suspect. We're working to learn more about this incident. We'll bring you updates as we get them. Tonight, a teen is back in jail after St. Louis police say he carjacked a Lyft driver less than 48 hours after being arrested for carjacking another rideshare driver. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend reports critics say this case underscores a much bigger problem.
Police say around 2 a.m. Tuesday, a 36-year-old Lyft driver drove to the area of Carter and North Newstead Avenues in North St. Louis to pick up passengers. Moments later, he got the scare of his life.
Multiple males entered his vehicle. After he started driving, a suspect displayed a firearm and ordered him out of the car.
The rideshare driver wasn't hurt and no shots fired. Police say the suspect sped away in the stolen car and led officers on a pursuit that ended on Penrose. Several boys got away, but police took the driver, just 16 years old, into custody. They say they arrested the same boy Tuesday night after he allegedly carjacked an Uber driver a mile away on Kennerly.
These back-to-back violent crimes highlight the continued challenges that our community faces, though, especially when it comes to violent crimes involving juveniles.
The 16-year-old suspect is now being held on several charges, including tampering and resisting arrest. In light of all the violence we're seeing involving teens, there are now growing calls for police to hold more parents accountable for their teens' actions.
Well, this is a shock. I mean, who would expect that the night after they're released, the kids are going to commit the same crime?
St. Louis University law professor Anders Walker.
Events like this, children who are released and then they immediately reoffend, it's going to get the attention of Jefferson City, and they're going to do something about it.
Meantime, police insist they are cracking down on the young offenders.
We recognize the need, though, for long-term solutions that involve families, communities, and the entire juvenile justice system. If they are committing the crimes at 16, who knows what they will be doing at 26 if they make it to 26.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police say the 16-year-old suspect was the driver in both of the crimes. They also say they're considering pursuing charges against the parents or guardians. Tonight, families affected by the May 16th tornado now have more time to apply for federal help. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer announced the deadline to apply for FEMA assistance will be extended by 3 weeks. That makes the new deadline August 26th. Earlier this week, the mayor said hundreds of impacted homes have not applied for help. The city and federal governments are sharing geolocation and mapping data to try and contact everyone in the Twister's path to make sure they get the help they need. The city did apply for a longer extension, and the mayor said, quote, "While I am disappointed that we did not receive the 60-day extension we requested, we are thankful that it gives an estimated 700 households that have not yet applied for FEMA assistance an additional 18 days to apply." For more information on how to apply for FEMA help, just text the word FEMA to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link. Right now, a deadly early morning shooting in North St. Louis County remains under investigation. Police say they were called to a shooting on Sheffingdale Court around 3:30 this morning. Officers arrived and found a man who had been shot multiple times. He died at the scene. Police say they have not arrested any suspects. If you have any information, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. That anonymous tip line is 866-371-TIPS. And we have an update to a story we have been following since last week. The woman who was shot and killed at a gas station was killed in the crossfire while trying to get away from the shooting. 47-year-old Taisha McDowell died at the scene. Police found her in a car. She'd been shot in the head. Police are still looking for suspects. The Missouri woman featured in the HBO documentary Chimp Crazy was sentenced to nearly 4 years in federal prison today. A judge also ordered Tanya Haddix to 3 years supervised release and to pay PETA $224,000 in restitution. Haddix pleaded guilty in March to perjury and obstruction charges. In 2021, the courts ordered her to give several chimps to PETA. The documentary revealed she hid one of those chimps, named Tonka, in her basement for a year.
She had a choice of whether she ended up locked behind bars as she is now, a choice that she denied those chimpanzees who were denied the opportunity.
Tonka is now thriving on an island with other chimpanzees. Her attorney says no decision has been made on filing an appeal. County Executive Sam Page has a challenger for his seat in the 2026 primary. State Senator Brian Williams announced today he will run for the seat. Williams has represented the 14th District since 2019. He is the first Democrat to enter the race to challenge Page. Just last week, a grand jury indicted Page for allegedly using public funds on a flyer about Proposition B. Williams told the St. Louis Business Journal he was considering a run before the indictment on Page. Businesses keep leaving downtown St. Louis as more than a quarter of the office space is now vacant. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, more than 200,000 square feet was vacated in just the second quarter. In 2022, office vacant space was at about 17%. Civic leaders are hopeful that with declining crime and the traffic rebounding, they hope downtown has a comeback. Project 5 and Behavioral Health Response are teaming up to provide mental health counseling. If you or someone you know needs mental health support, it is available right now. You can call 988 to speak to a trained counselor, and teens, you can text Be Heard to 31658.
Stronger summer storms.
And I was on this post right here, just holding on to it like this.
The reason this year's severe weather season was more destructive than others.
While there has been some thunder around the area tonight, none of the storms all that strong. Why the rain chances ease and why heat headlines become the dominant feature heading into the weekend as the heat index climbs.
Well, the new school year is fast approaching, and both Missouri and Illinois require vaccinations for children. Children from K through 12th grade, in most cases, are required to present their up-to-date immunization documentation before attending school. Now, in some cases, there can be a grace period, but doctors advise not to wait until the last minute.
It needs to be completed before starting school. And the first of them, would be the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, or like MMR. So 2 doses are needed for anyone entering kindergarten to 12th grade. And also varicella that protects us from like chickenpox.
The doctor recommends making appointments now because most pediatricians are booking out in advance. Religious exemptions are allowed in Missouri and Illinois, but parents must complete the proper paperwork for that. The Boys and Girls Club of St. Louis hosted its Spotlight on Service celebration tonight. The event honored staff, volunteers, club alums, and more. And some of those alums were inducted into the Hall of Honor, including the mayor of Bethalsel, Gary Bost, and State Representative Lakeisha Frazier Bosley. The event also recognized several foundations for their support to the Boys and Girls Club. Today, more than 60 companies took part in a job fair at the Urban League Expo. The Career Expo presented opportunities like on-the-spot hiring and resume building. Urban League President Michael McMillan says after the tornado, there was a notable anticipation among the employers and candidates. The expo will have another drive-through back-to-school event this Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. Families can get free school supplies, groceries, and tornado relief resources. Well, we all know this. St. Louis is no stranger when it comes to crazy weather.
Yeah, this year's storms have left a mark on the area, and there's a reason why they're so memorable. Severe weather can happen anywhere, but St. Louis has seen a certain type of severe storm more often this year. Those storms brought strong tornadoes. That caught our attention.
We've seen a lot more of these, what we call supercells, those rotating thunderstorms. And usually those thunderstorms are capable of producing our more high-end tornadoes. They're expecting a pretty good flood event up in the Northeast today.
At the National Weather Service, Warning Coordination meteorologist Kevin Deitch has witnessed plenty of severe weather in our area. This year, much more active than last.
So last year we saw a lot of linear storms come through, lines of thunderstorms. A lot of times those can produce tornadoes, but they're generally weak, EF0, EF1. This year it's been different. We've seen a lot of severe weather, but we've seen a lot of these supercell thunderstorms.
Supercells like the one that produced the EF3 tornado here in St. Louis on May 16th, cutting a path of destruction that can still be seen. With stronger storms comes a need for safety.
What we do kind of behind the scenes is we communicate that to our partners, to the media, to the emergency managers that we support.
Despite those warnings, weather conditions can quickly change. Fast movers, like the storm back in May, caught plenty of people off guard.
The wind started to pick up, the street lights went out, it started pouring, raining, there was hail.
College student Maya Grimes was driving home when the tornado pulled her out of her car near Washington and Union.
I slid right here and I realized, okay, I should probably get out of the way because if the tornado blew me, then it could also blow my car.
Clinging to a light post.
And I was on this post right here, just holding on to it like this and not letting go.
The storm's strength left a lasting impression.
Just mentally, it's really been a struggle. And even a couple days after the tornado happened and we were in a hotel, there was another tornado warning and I was in the hotel room scared.
That supercell produced just one of 45 tornadoes in the St. Louis warning area this year, but it's not the most active on record.
The one that most folks around here probably remember, the year 2006. We actually had 75 tornadoes that year.
And Deitch warns this year's threat may not be over.
I think it's fairly likely that we will exceed last year's numbers. And even so, I think this year is just more memorable because of the higher end tornadoes.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've been looking at, this year. The number of those EF2s and EF3 tornadoes, they've been much higher. So 45 is the number of official tornado tracks that have confirmed. Now, since we have the Doppler radar for about the last 33 years, it's about 21.5 tornado tracks per year. Now, this is in the county warning area for the St. Louis National Weather Service office. It doesn't necessarily include the tornadoes that are directly in the 5 on your side viewing area. But again, 2006, certainly up there. And no severe weather tonight. In fact, I want you to look at this picture. If you just were away from the TV and turned away for a second, Cheryl has shared this with us on our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group. This is in Baldwin. So we had some showers around tonight. We had those low clouds, but then as the sun was setting, so many of you shared pictures with that sky just illuminated and glowing tonight. So we look at the radar pictures. Well, the Doppler just went off out at the airport there for the last second or two, but you get the gist here. We are looking at those showers continuing to press to the south. Overall, a weakening trend here on those showers. The rumbles of thunder seem to have eased across the region, although looks like we just got another lightning strike in the last 5 minutes or so down toward Eureka. So still the potential for a rumble or two of thunder here during the overnight hours, but it's really about the heat and humidity. That tandem for tomorrow and Saturday will push our heat index values back into the triple digits, right around 100, 101 degrees. So through the overnight hours, you still have this upper level system meandering across the region. So right through about daybreak tomorrow, there's the potential for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Then after that, we're going to clear off. We're going to get hot. It's going to be humid. We're back into the low and mid 90s tomorrow afternoon. Your heat index values for most of the metro area right around 100 degrees. We stick with that heading into Saturday. The difference between this and what we had in July with the extreme heat is this isn't so extreme. It's a couple of days with the heat and humidity producing heat index values around 100, and then it eases a little bit Sunday into Monday as the clouds roll in. Our bodies are more acclimated to that heat, but nonetheless, make sure you're checking on your senior neighbors. Make sure we're all staying hydrated this weekend, especially if you're going to be outside for any amount of time. It's 95 again on Saturday. Most of the rain Saturday as well to our north. Sunday, we'll have to watch what happens with thunderstorm complexes overnight, Saturday night, and then again Sunday night going into Monday. That could completely just change this forecast for Sunday into Monday with rain chances. Right now it looks low. with the better chance arriving along about Tuesday. But tomorrow, it's really early in the morning when we might still have a few lingering showers because of this pesky little system that was driven by thunderstorms last night up in Iowa and visited us through most of the day today with these periodic shower chances.
Really humid, too.
Oh, yeah, it is muggy.
Ugh, all right. Here's Corey with sports.
Well, the Cardinals were off tonight, but one of their top prospects put on a show for a St. Louis audience. I'll have that and more next in sports. It's a day off for the Cardinals after a series win in LA. They'll welcome the rival Cubs tomorrow for a weekend series. With the Cards off, we got to look at the future tonight. FanDuel Sports Network broadcast the AAA Memphis Redbirds game against the Durham Bulls. And one top prospect made sure to shine bright in the spotlight. If you tuned in looking for J.J. Weatherholtz, well, he had a day off, but the man on the mound was very much on. Top pitching prospect Quinn Matthews was absolutely dealing. 7 innings, no runs, 9 strikeouts. Here's a look at all 9 of them. I bet there are going to be some Cardinal fans clamoring for Quinn in St. Louis after watching this game. Memphis got the go-ahead hit from standout catching prospect Jimmy Crooks in the 8th as the Redbirds won 3-1. The Major League Cardinals have a new face in the bullpen. Today, the club claims right-hander Jorge Alcala off waivers from the Boston Red Sox. The 30-year-old throws hard, but he can be a bit erratic. In 41 appearances this season, he has an ERA of 6.64 and 46 strikeouts in just shy of 41 innings. The Cardinals are hoping one of their young players currently in the show may have found something. Jordan Walker had 3 hits yesterday, including the go-ahead hit in the 8th. He's hitting .290 since coming back from the All-Star break, and while the power hasn't shown up quite yet, things are trending in the right direction for Jordan.
Yeah, it's been good, man. There's still a lot of stuff I can work on. Some stuff is still inconsistent, but, man, I think I'm on the right track, getting back to where I want to be, and it looks good, it feels good, and I, want to be more consistent than I am right now.
1 month from right now, we will be locked in on NASCAR in St. Louis. The Enjoy Illinois 300 is September 7th at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and the excitement is building by the day. Today, a big announcement. The Grand Marshal of this year's parade will be none other than comedy legend and Illinois native Bill Murray. You can also see Murray flex his pipes on the stage as Bill Murray and the Blood Brothers will perform as part of the music festival. So, what exactly does the Grand Marshal do at the Enjoy Illinois 300?
Kenny's going to introduce Bill Murray and his group onto stage, so they'll perform for about an hour. It's about an hour show that they'll be performing out on the midway stage. And then right before the race starts, we'll have him in the drivers' meeting, so he'll be meeting the drivers. He'll have a chance to speak to some of the drivers, and then he'll be the one giving the command for the drivers to start their engines. And we're going to give him creative license to do whatever he wants to do on that.
That could be dangerous, though.
It could be. We want it to be memorable.
Well, it isn't just college football around the corner. College soccer is ready to kick off. Over at SLU, the Billiken women already have an exhibition under their belts. After a 15-win season and second-round loss in the NCAA tournament last year, the expectations are high for the Bills. That's just how they like it.
Complacency is not in our DNA. I think obviously every year you have new challenges, new opportunities. This group certainly has them, but we're off to a good start.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a feeling. Like when you're with the team, it's just truly, it's good vibes, and everybody wants the best for one another. And we had that last year, and this year I feel like it's even more special. And so, it's one of those things. We have so much youth to just get them all on the same page of this is our standard, and for then everybody to just step into that role and excelling in it to help us bring us to the next step.
Join us Sunday night for Sports Plus. Frank plays pickleball with SLU Hoops coach Josh Schertz and talks with area native broadcaster Michelle Smallman on her success at ESPN. Also, we'll have a chat with Illinois football head coach Brett Bielema after my trip up to training camp in Champaign. That's Sunday at 10:30. Right here on 5 on your side.
I wonder who wins that pickleball game, because he is quite the player.
We have lots of cameras, so even if Frank says who won, I might have to go check the tape just to make sure.
Yes, you will have to do that. All right, Corey. Still to come, an extravagant proposal in Ohio that some may think is a bit corny. A Central Ohio couple are now engaged thanks to an amazing proposal. A look from above shows the 13-acre field spells out, "Will you marry me, Caroline?" It was planted by Tim, who is one of the farmers. The couple took a flight above the field so Caroline could see the message, and she, of course, said yes. The annual Ducky Derby took place on the Chicago River today. Tens of thousands of rubber ducks are dumped into the river every year. People adopt a duck for a $10 donation to Special Olympics. Prizes for the winning duck include cash, Cubs tickets, and a Chevy Trailblazer.
Not a bad prize.
Not for $10, $10 donation. All right, as we head into the weekend.
As we head into the weekend, the heat is back. There's still a chance for a few more showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. There's not any severe weather tonight, and we're not worried about flooding problems or anything like that. And most of the rain tomorrow morning, it skedaddles very quickly, and so do the clouds. It should be sunny by midday tomorrow, and boy, does it heat up. And that also means with the humidity, our heat index around 100. We'll do the same thing on Saturday, except starting with the sunshine. By the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but the Perseid meteor shower, that peaks on Monday morning and Tuesday morning before daybreak, but you still have a chance. Tonight we have clouds.
Right.
There's a chance, Saturday morning and Sunday morning, if we have clear skies, to see some.
To be able to see it.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here. Thanks so much for joining us. We're always streaming on 5+. Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.